Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. N.G Mpya, a primary lecturer for INC3701. I welcome you to this module. It is an interesting inclusive education module for the B.Ed intermediate phase group. It is a generic module, meaning that all those students who have registered for B.Ed intermediate, they have to do this module. We have two primary lecturers in INC3701. That's myself, Dr. Mpya, and Dr. Mbelu. INC3701, it's one of the biggest modules in SEDU. So the university decided to beef it up with 4 secondary lecturers. The secondary lecturers are Dr. Sadiki, Dr. Mkuma, Miss Mahetlana, and Dr. Ledwaba, with their email addresses in there. We also have our student support officer, Mr. Madubana. He will assist you with technical issues. We hope that we will have a good relationship with you as students during the year. We have study materials in our module, a study guide and tutorial letter 101, where you get all the information that you need. We also have additional resources, the e-reserves. You can source them from the library. Each and every module in our university has a purpose. So the purpose of this module is to develop you as a student to the point where you can demonstrate the understanding of the complexity and challenges of diverse learner population and the barriers to learning that learners face. It also acquaints you with policy and legislature. Finally, it assists you to understand the systemic implications of the above, meaning policy and legislature. Our study guide, it has 6 learning units. And we also have 6 specific outcomes that address those units. Upon completion of this module, each and every one of you should be able to do the following: discuss the notion and philosophy of inclusive education. Number 2, explain relevant policies with regard to inclusive education. 3, describe how the principles of inclusive education can contribute to the achievement of quality education for all learners when applied in context. 4, classify diverse ways of learning. 5, assess the needs of learners in order to determine the required level of support. The last one, to create an enabling inclusive learning environment. These are specific outcomes of our module. Remember, specific outcomes are those specific, measurable statements that let you know when you have reached your goal. So you need to know them. We also have the assessment criteria. Again, dear students, after you shall have completed this module, you also need to know and do the following. Define inclusive education. That is a must. Demonstrate understanding of ideas that are embedded in the philosophy of inclusive education in relation to African ways of life. That is collectivism, interdependence, Ubuntu, and communalism. Finally, you need to discuss the South African educational policies that deal with inclusive education. These assessments, I've only included 3 of them, but we have a lot of them. So you can go to page 19 of your tutorial letter to see more of them. You are given assignments to do. These assignments, you will be using your study guide, your tutorial letter 101, and the e-reserves. And in addition to that, there are important documents that you need to refer to when you do your assignments to beef it up. These documents are Education White Paper 6 of 2001, Building an Inclusive Education and Training System. The other one, Conceptual and Operational Guidelines for Special Schools as Resource Centers. It was published in 2015. Conceptual and Operational Guidelines for Full Service Schools of 2005. Screening, Identification, Assessment, and Support. This is known as SEAS of 2014. The Department of Education of 2010. It's about the guidelines for full service or inclusive schools. Yes, make sure that you use these documents to make sure that your assignments are well written and are well sourced. We have assessments. Let me remind you, dear students, that assessments are an important part of your study. We have 4 assessments for this module. Each contribute 25% towards the promotion mark. Assessment 1 is compulsory for all students who are registered for this module. It is irreplaceable. And assessment 1 to 4 are compulsory, which means that all students must write and submit these assessments. Students who could not submit either assessment 2, 3, or 4 should complete and submit assessment 5. May I please repeat this? Students who could not submit either assessment 2, 3, or 4 above should complete and submit assessment 5. Examination. As this is a continuous assessment module, there will be no formal examination. Therefore, it is important that you complete and do well in each of the assessments given to you. Don't wait and say, I will wait for examination and then I will pass that examination, because there is no formal examination. Our module is a continuous assessment. Please note this one. Plagiarism and cheating are not allowed. UNISA is an inclusive university. It accommodates all students, irrespective of their disability, their color, or breed. So, the Advocacy and Resource Center for Students with Disability is well functioning. I'm saying it's a center for students with disabilities. We call it ACSUIT. It provides an opportunity for staff to interact with first-time and returning students with disabilities. So, if you are a student with a disability and would like additional support or need additional time for assessments, please discuss this with your lecturers, and they will give you the assistance that you need. In conclusion, may you please submit your assignments on time to avoid disappointments. These days, we have this monster of load shedding. So make sure that you submit even before the due date. Remember, your queries must be addressed to your lecturers as your first line of communication, and you will get help. Always use your My Life email address when you communicate with your lecturers. Please don't use the Gmail and other stuff. You are also advised to regularly visit your module site to check announcements from your lecturers. And I thank you. Against Baya Danki, Rea Leboga, Siabonga, Rolebua,